What's going on, guys? Thanks for checking in. We got a really good one for you today. Finishing up the house here, just got done with the rail, but there is one more thing I need to add to the house. And you as a homeowner, or maybe you on the construction site, it's gonna be a handrail, and it's gonna help you pass code. It's gonna help you maybe re-secure it if yours at home is loose, show you how to re-secure it. But we're installing a handrail today to meet all code specifications. So make sure you stick out to the end. There's a lot of good little pointers in there. And by the way, my name's Hunter. Thank you for checking in. If you learn anything, hammer that like button for me. Help that YouTube algorithm out to keep me moving, to keep all this going. So we're gonna say what's up to Bryan. He's filming today, but we're gonna say what's up to him at the end. What's up? But let's get into this, guys. We're doing a wall mount. Let's go over the tools real quickly that I got here laying out. We've got my nail gun, which will be used to put the wall mount ends together and to nail to the wall. I've got a chalk line, my drill, a wall mount bracket. Pop it out for you so you see what it looks like. A wall mount bracket for your handrail. So we've got the rail right here, guys, and the rail's finished with the balusters. Jot off to this section real quickly. And since we're hitting the wall right here, and it's a nice little section, but since it dives into the wall, we need one that goes all the way up that's attached to the wall, not one that dives in. To pass code, it needs to extend past the stringer. So we got our wall mount brackets and a little bit of liquid nail. Liquid nail, we're gonna glue it to the wall, both ends when we nail it, just to give it a little bit more strength. And guys, this is gonna be step number 1 for me. Every time coming into the house, when I start this little item here, this is step 1 for me. What we're gonna wanna do is come to the first nosing of the first stair. And we're gonna wanna measure right from the edge, and we're just gonna wanna eyeball the tape measure straight up. Let's just eyeball it level. It doesn't need to be perfect. And we're gonna want it at 31 inches. At 31 inches, with our wall mount bracket and our piece of material, we meet code, which is 36 to 38 inches. So remember, guys, front nosing, 31 inches. And this is where my chalk line is going to come into play. So I got a little nail here. We're going to tack it to the wall. Now, guys, I know you know what a chalk line is. If you're using a chalk line, I want you guys to focus on using the blue color. We don't want red. Red is going to be hard to paint over. Now, maybe you already have paint on the wall as well. And shoot, you don't want to get a chalk line on the wall. So another easy way to do this is maybe 2 thumbtacks and a piece of yarn, a piece of string, just to hold your line in. But since we're not painted here, we're gonna chalk a line. I'm gonna come up to the top stair, not the top nosing for the landing, but the very top stair. And I'm gonna do the same thing, 31 inches. I'm gonna eyeball level up to 31. Make my little point here. I'm gonna get my chalk line. I'm gonna get it right on my mark. And I'm gonna snap this line. So now when I move it, there's a nice chalk line all the way down. But remember, guys, what I said too, you could use maybe 2 thumbtacks and maybe thumbtack a piece of yarn, a piece of string, fishing line to the wall if it's painted and you do not want to get chalk on your painted wall. Chalk line's on the wall. So the next step is to get our brackets out. Remember the bracket, and it comes with a piece for the bottom. We have 3 large screws and 2 tiny screws. So there's your full hardware for the bracket. These 2 are gonna go on the bottom of our material, so we're gonna hold these, I'm gonna set them on the step. So here's our next step, are these 4 items to secure this to the wall. Like I said, set this down here. Now maybe, guys, you do have that painted wall, so you still have your string up here. The best thing is to get your stud finder. In this case, it's just drywall, and I could see the stud from the drywall spackle on the wall, and I could do my knock so I know I'm good. But maybe you need the stud finder for your home. Go out, it's a $20 investment. I'll throw a little picture of one on the top corner there, boom. And just go pick one up if you got a painted wall. It's gonna be the easiest way. All right, so we're gonna take our long screw, one of the three, through the bottom of our bracket here. And we're gonna look right in line, right here on the wall, right where you mark your stud out. We're gonna screw it in, and kind of right before it got super snug, I did a little swoop motion. Now this is the time to kind of maybe just barely adjust it. It's still snug, but make sure it's nice, straight up and down. Let's get your other two long screws. And get it secured in. So our three long screws secured in. We got two more to go. All right, the three brackets are on the wall. If you had your string on there, if you use the string method instead of the chalk line method, go ahead and take your string down. We won't need it anymore. It's nice and straight for when our wall mount goes on. We're gonna secure it to those 3 points. And like I said, nail it to the wall with some liquid nails. So here's the time we need to measure this out and make sure the measurement is the correct length to meet code. We figured out that 31 with the height of the bracket and your material meets 36 inches for code. So this also needs to meet code as well for the length. What you need to do, you need to get your tape measure, and I'm gonna want to extend it about maybe 5 inches, 6 inches past the top. Let's just go 5 inches past the top. I'm gonna run my tape measure all the way down to the bottom. Now in this case, I'm gonna say roughly 5 inches past the bottom as well. So that'd be a plus, 10 inches larger than our stringer. So 113 is gonna be my number for this wall. Maybe you have a wall at home where the stringer or the nosing of your stair, the wall ends right here on the end. So maybe you just need to add 5 inches on one side and not 10 for both sides. In this case, we've got room to extend it past on both sides. So plus 10 inches, 113. Let's head over to the saw, which is right behind us, and let's get this material on the saw, cut it to length, and get it ready to put on the wall. At the saw, guys, we have our piece of handrail material, 6010 handrail from Alpine. That's their specs for what this detail is. But remember, measurement was 113. So let's start this off, guys. We know 113 is our two longest points, and we need a 45-degree angle on both sides. So let's turn our saw to 45 degrees, lock it in. Let's slide our piece of material down to the edge. And let's make our first cut. Make sure your piece of material is tight to the saw, but let's make our first cut at a 45-degree angle. Piece for the trash. Let's slide the rail down. I'm gonna hook the tape measure on the furthest point of my miter. Hook the tape measure on, and 113 was our number. Let's get the tape measure all the way down. 113, right there on the end, boom. Now we need to turn the saw the opposite way, ready? This was this way, so we need the opposite 45 for our two long points of our material. Okay, now that we got those, let's just make one more straight cut again, so we have two perfectly clean cuts on either side. Okay guys, one more thing to focus for code. We've got our height, we've got our length. Now we need our distance from the wall in order for your hand to nicely go up, not scrape the drywall. So that measurement is 1.5 inches. So our returns to our wall are gonna be 1.5 inches. So let's get down here with me, and I'm gonna do 1.5 inches to this side. Now I'm gonna do 1.5 inches to this side as well. 1.5 inches on both sides. Now let's turn our saw to the 45 again. Now, this is gonna be our smallest point. So when I cut this on the saw, our 1.5 inches is gonna be our shortest point of our material. On a 45-degree, that's gonna be our longest point. We don't know that dimension, but 1.5 inches is where we're wanting to cut. Save this piece. Let's set this off to the side, because that's a saver. Now, turn the saw the opposite way to a 45. Again, 1.5 inches to our measurement. And we need to make this cut, our short point of the measurement. And that's our scrap. We got 2 ends. Obviously, we're gonna put them on the side that they match. We've got our nail gun. Get a little bit of wood glue. Don't need to overdo it on the wood glue, guys. Let's just get a nice little dab in there. All right, now we're gonna nail our first return to the end of our handrail. I like using the saw, the fence to kind of line it up. Kind of hold it with fingers, get the fingers away. 2 shots, and then 2 shots on the other side. Same process for this end. Let's get out the glue, shake it out, glue. I like it, guys. That's a perfect amount of glue, so when I put it together, the glue's not gonna ooze outside of our miter. Right, guys, our piece is nailed together. We glued it, we nailed it. We're ready to install. Just one more step. Get out the handy cordless sander, and we gotta sand this thing down so it's nice for your hand to go up and down. So let's just sand this guy down, get it done, and get ready for install. Our piece is cut, sanded nicely, feels good with the hands. So here's our last step, guys. Getting it to the wall, getting it secured, and we're done. We're walking out of here. After this, let's get out of here. Let's do it. So let's start off, guys. We got our liquid nail. Put a little bit on the end here. Once again, just enough that it really gets on that edge, but it's not gonna ooze out from the side too much. Now we're only gonna do one end right now. Let's get that other end up on the wall. And my piece is on the brackets, but I'm holding this end off the wall right now. Okay? Now, we added 5 inches to both sides. So I wanna eyeball roughly 5 inches. Pretty good at eyeballing a dimension at this point. So if you'd like to, you can take out your tape measure and kind of help with that as well. And right there, I'm sticking it to the wall. I'm at 5 inches past. And if you can kind of see up top, we're gonna get up there in a second, but that end is extending nicely, just about the same at the top. But holding tight to the wall here, kind of get that glue wedged in. We're gonna get our nail gun, and we're just gonna do a couple shots here, because the glue is gonna hold it. A couple shots. Two shots, it's gonna hold for us. Let's head up to the top. Looks like, and guys, I'm just eyeballing it, but with the tape measure, about 5 inches. Pretty happy with how it's turning out. Now it's sitting on top of our brackets, just a little quick pencil mark, or you don't have to do the pencil mark, just don't do as much glue on this side. But let's do just a little dab of glue to the drywall. Right there. And now let's smush that to the wall. So you don't necessarily need the pencil mark, it helps me just to be quick. And let's do 2 more shots. However the material detail is, let's do 2 really good shots. So I'm gonna switch to this side. 2 shots to the wall, and it's gonna hold nice for a little bit. Set the nail gun off to the side. We're pretty much just left with the drill now. But what I want you to do, guys, is get down here on my level and look up the rail for me. So it looks nice and straight, but is it waving as it's going up the wall? Let me get in here, let me go check it out real quick. It's actually looking really good. So since it's nice, perfectly straight, I want to make sure when I screw the brackets to each part, I'm holding it right where it sits. Let's say it was pushed in on the wall here and there was a bow in your material. Well, maybe you'd want to secure one end, but you're going to want to flex and move it to try to keep that perfectly straight line. So in this case, guys, it's sitting on the wall. The wall's nice and straight, so our bracket's nice and straight. I like it. So we got our bracket and our 2 screws, guys. So just getting 1 screw ready and then drilling off to the side. I'm gonna put the bracket on, obviously how it sits, and I'm gonna hold it with one of my fingers. And I'm gonna go for this top hole first, doesn't matter which one. Just be nice and easy. With the impact, don't strip the screw, run it till it's nice and snug. Grab your other screw, run it into the other hole. Just till it's snug, doesn't strip. And guys, that is secure at this point, this isn't moving. We have 2 more to go. And we're finished. The wall mount handrail is secure to the wall. It's nice and tight. We met code on the length, height, the distance from the wall. Those 3 are gonna save you if your home is getting inspected or if you're kind of doing it yourself and maybe going to sell your house in the future. Make sure it's up to code. But pretty easy, right? That's it. The right tools, just a little bit of knowledge. We're gonna get a lot of things accomplished together, guys. So hey, if you liked it, please hammer that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on. A lot more coming. Thanks for checking in. Later. Oh, Bryan, what's up, dude?
What's up?
Man, how's the knee doing?
That's all right, man.
Knee surgery, you're feeling better? Dude, can't wait for you to be back. When you coming back? Next week?
I'm back.
You're back. You're friggin' back. Guys, he's back. Holy crap. Hey.
It's time to make money.
Oh, let's do it. Have you seen
That
Bitcoin lately?
That Bitcoin,
Dude,
though.
it's time to dream
That
a
Bitcoin.
bit.